I wasn't confident enough. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this with my job, with the kids and everything? So I was able to reach out to Ryan, and he was like, oh, anytime, just send me an email. And which was extremely helpful for me. He broke down so many things, and I'm like, Ryan, why were you sis? Why didn't he tell me that okay, I can have access to the knowledge that you have.
Hi everyone, my name is Pumza. I'm one of the recruitment advisors at ITOL. Joining us today is Lilian. She completed the project management program with ITOL. Lilian, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you, Pumza. Nice to see you again.
Likewise, it's been a while. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Please just tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do for a living.
My name is Lilian, like you already know. I'm a registered nurse and a mom. I've been a registered nurse in the UK for about 6 years now and counting. And that is basically what I do. If I'm not doing nursing, then I'm being a mom or a wife. So, yeah.
Okay. So where did you work prior to registering, and what is your current role? Tell us a bit more about your new role.
Okay. I started off working in London as an overseas nurse. Of course, I've been a nurse back home in Nigeria before I moved to the UK. So I started off working in London and then moved down to the West Midlands, where I did my nursing job in a nursing home as well as the hospital, which is NHS. So I've been opportuned, to work in a nursing home and then work in a hospital NHS, which I currently do. Before I did the training with you guys, and then as of now, I'm a digital practitioner. Which is basically my trust is trying to launch a new EPL program. And so digital practitioners will be, supporting them to launch the new program. You undergoing training, you'll be training staff, clinical staff, as well as other member of staff who will be using the EPR system. And you will also have the ability, they will give you access to be a super user, whereby basically you'll be troubleshooting and, sorting out issues during the launch and as well as post-launch of the program.
Wow, sounds interesting. Congratulations once more on your new role, Lilian. So why did you want to study with ITOL?
Well, I think Andy, I'll never forget him. He, I've always loved IT, I've always loved tech. But then I didn't have the opportunity, or I didn't know, how to, go about, getting information and then getting the required training, which will also allow me to do my job while undergoing training. So I did search online, ITOL came up. And to tell you the truth, I think it was over 3 years that Andy was, chasing me. He will send emails and he will talk to me. And then last minute, I'll change my mind because, I wasn't confident enough. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this with my job, with the kids and everything? So, he keeps reassuring me. He said, Lilian, you can do this. I mean, you just need to start, then take it one step at a time. So yeah, it was over 3 years, he will send me an email and the last time I'm like, okay, that was, I think last year. I said, you know what, I think I'm going to do this. And he gave me guidance on, how it works, what each training is like. And then, of course, with my skills that I've already gained, I was able to make a decision to go for project management.
I'm sure Andy will be thrilled when he watches this interview. That's very nice to hear, Lilian. So which memorable features shaped your journey the most?
It will be, how would I say? I think the flexibility of the program, and
Mm,
then the ability, to just always reach out and ask questions, and then, your questions are, always answered as soon as possible. And one thing that stood out for me was, initially when I started, I mean, coming completely from a health background, I didn't have any
mhm,
idea of anything. It took me a while, to even know the questions to ask,
mm,
and how to even ask them to get the information that I need. And then when I logged into the what do you call it? It's like a group on the
mm,
platform whereby people are sharing their ideas and asking questions, and those who have passed their exam are posting, and
mm,
it was a motivating factor for me as well.
mm,
And then immediately I started, understanding a little bit about what my training was all about. I was able to reach out to Ryan, and he was like, "Oh, anytime, just send me an email,"
mm.
and which was extremely helpful for me. He broke down so many things, and I'm like, Ryan, where were you since? Why didn't he, you know,
Mm,
tell me that okay, I can have access to the knowledge that you have. So
mm,
that was really very helpful. And then of course, when I've passed my exams, I get the congratulatory message. I'm like, "Oh, Lilian, okay, when are you
mm,
due for the next one?" That was what really helped me. And another feature was this, you made it in such a way, the platform was like, before you take the next exam, you need to pass the in-house exam,
mhm,
um, before we can book you in, just to make sure you are where you're supposed to be before the exam. So that was really helpful as well. And then speaking with the recruitment team, so by the time I spoke with you, and my LinkedIn profile was transformed. Like, when I implemented everything you sent me, everything you told me about, I even had a colleague who was in the US, like, screenshot and sent me and said, "Lily, is that you?" I said, "No, we're not on the same level anymore." So yes, so it's
Wow.
been really, an amazing journey, really. I mean, I'm thinking outside of the box,
Mm,
something that is different from nursing, and is enlarged my, um, how would I call it? My confidence. It's improved my confidence as well.
oh, wow, Lillian, that's lovely to hear. Would you recommend us to your friends and your family?
Yes, I think I've done one recommendation already. I do recommend. I mean, yeah, this is, and then I tell them, okay, this is my experience so far, and yeah, I do recommend. I've got a friend that subscribed to you guys already. I hope I'm getting the referral pay for that. She's my.
I suggest you should also recommend us to your friend that keeps screenshotting your LinkedIn.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, Lillian, thank you so much for your time.
No
I
problems
wish
at
you
all.
all the best in your new role. I know you will definitely thrive.